So this video game Outbound, okay, they got themselves in a little bit of a pickle, and the pickle that they got themselves in was essentially they were asking players, or they asked one player. I don't know if they asked anybody else. They asked one player to remove a negative review from Steam. Now, I don't know if you guys know this. That is a big fucking no-no. All right, you don't ask people to remove reviews from Steam, whether they're positive or negative. You don't ask people. Obviously, you're probably not going to ask someone to remove positive, but I'm just saying, you don't do that because then you are openly trying to manipulate the reviews. And when people catch you doing that, that's not a good look, right? That's not a good look at all. So anyway, now, because of that, and because they got caught doing that, guess what people are doing? That's right. They're review bombing the game. There's so much of that going on now, it's insane. But yes, they are review bombing the game because of the developers asking to remove a negative review from Steam. Now, obviously, they have come out and apologized for this, which we're going to get into. So, Outbound is that exploration game developed by Square Glade Games, where players drive an empty camper van around an open world and attempt to turn it into a home by collecting materials to decorate it and using technology to power it. As initially screenshotted and shared on the Steam Reddit page, one player wrote a negative review of the game, calling its mechanics incredibly shallow and saying it's definitely not worth the asking price. Doesn't sound anything crazy to me. Sounds pretty fair. The studio said it understood the game wasn't to the player's liking and offered no hard feelings, but added feel free to send a support request to the Steam support to get a full refund on your purchase. If you do so, we would appreciate if you would update or remove your... Oh, that is not good. Ooh, that is not good. That's essentially paying to get a negative review removed. Bro, that is... You're bribing the person to remove the negative review. Are you fucking stupid? Are you dumb? Why would you do that publicly? Holy shit, that's insane. Yeah, they're not exactly very smart. That is not a good look. Now I can see why people are upset. Anyway, this has not gone down well with some players who have suggested that developers shouldn't be trying to give their game a higher percentage of positive reviews by asking players to change or remove negative ones. It has also seemingly had a Streisand effect to some extent. While the game's Steam reviews still marked as mostly positive, a number of recent negative reviews have made reference to the incident, suggesting it was at least partly responsible for their own personal rating. Now posted in response to one of these reviews, Square Glade Games has apologized for its comment, saying it would no longer ask people to remove or change their reviews. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter, bro. That's bad. Just, bro, I really think people... I think that the worst thing about the indie scene is that we tend to forget that they're still ran by, like, your everyday people. They're not ran by big corporations that have HR teams that tell you to shut the fuck up, you know, most of the time anyway, not all the time. And whenever one of them gets out of containment, they usually get fired. These indie games are ran by very, very small teams, you know, sometimes even one person. So if that person doesn't have any PR training, or perhaps they're not ready for the amount of success they might receive, you know, maybe the game was successful. I mean, I don't know. Let me see. This game's called Outbound. We could go to SteamDB right now. Let's see. Let's see. Outbound. Is this game successful or not? Let's see. Well, fairly fair. Oh, that's pretty. Hey, that's not bad. Not bad for a game like this, man. It's got double the numbers of Mixtape. And that game is the game of the generation. 10 out of 10. 10 out of fucking 10, right? So, it's not terrible. They probably weren't ready for it. They probably thought their game was not going to sell that much. And come to find out, it actually did. And, well, there you go. But again, it's not an excuse, though. It's not an excuse to go out there and bribe people to remove negative reviews. That's a really bad fucking look. First and foremost, we truly apologize for how our recent replies have come across. We understand that our communication has felt wrong to many of you. For that, we are genuinely sorry. To be completely honest, the 24 hours since launch have been incredibly overwhelming. While we started with a lot of excitement, the reality of launch brings a lot of pressure and intense emotions. Looking back, we realized that the way we communicated was not the right approach, and we didn't handle the situation with the care that it deserved. Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like, yeah, actually, in the chat, Azrai says, you expect crap like this from Chinese sellers on Amazon. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You would expect it from them. You wouldn't expect this from indie developers, but, you know. Tire King says, are they paying? I'll write a bad review. They could pay me to change it. You would have to buy the game, and then they're just going to refund you. That's it. That's it. So you would essentially break even. Mixtape is so fucking cringe. Not a good comparison. Well, no, it is a good comparison because, again, this game is coming from an indie developer that's getting little to no press, right? They weren't really getting press before this, whereas Mixtape is getting press from all major establishments, PlayStation, Xbox, Epic Games. Everybody's promoting it. Every shill's talking about it. There's thousands of accounts talking about it on X, all promoting it, and it only got 2,000 some odd concurrent players. Whereas this game, another actual indie game, got 5,000 some odd concurrent players with little to no press. So, you know, I feel like it's a pretty fair comparison. But in any case, that's pretty bad. They also said, we want to be clear. We would no longer be asking anyone to change their negative reviews. Isn't that against Steam TOS too? I'm almost positive it is. We have also deleted our previous comments. We respect your honesty and appreciate the feedback, even when it's tough to hear. It helps us make the game better. Thank you for your patience while we navigate this. We're heading back to work on the issues that you raised, but we wanted to make sure we stop to say we hear you and we are sorry for the missteps in our communication. Oh my God. Outbound is currently at 64 on Metacritic. Damn. That's bad. That's bad. So, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, you know, we're all human. They fucked up, right? But people are now going to think that you're going to be the type of developer to try to silence negative, discourse. You're going to try to silence people that perhaps have a problem with your video game. And that's unfortunate because these are things you could easily avoid if you just had a little bit of PR training. Just easily avoid it and just roll with the punches. If people have an issue with your game, listen to them, right? Read the reviews. If one of them is a troll, move on to the next. But don't start trying to essentially pay people by refunding their game to take off the negative review. That's crazy, you know? Splitak says Outbound is also on Game Pass. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. And the game is still doing better than Mixtape, which guess what is also on Game Pass. With all the promotion, the entire industry is promoting Mixtape. Even Jeff Keighley is promoting Mixtape with the Game Awards official account. So think about that for a second. In any case, that sucks. I never actually watched. Actually, that's not true. I think I remember I did watch a trailer for this. I think this was in a show that we watched together one time. Let's see. What do we got? Choppy.
Time to hit the road.
It's one of these games. All right. Well, there you go. That is Outbound, ladies and gentlemen. So, unfortunate for them. Hopefully they learned their lesson and they don't do it again. But I have a feeling this is probably not going to be the last mistake they're going to make. So, moving on, boys. Moving on.